Have you ever accepted a job and immediately regretted it? Not because the pay was bad, not because the hours were terrible, but because, on your very first night, you discovered the employee handbook wasn't a joke. It was a survival guide. I thought the strange rules were just some ridiculous prank. A few hours later, I was standing inside a circle of salt while something from another world tried to tear me apart. At the time, I desperately needed money. Student loans were piling up. My savings were disappearing faster than I wanted to admit. So when a local supermarket offered me a night shift position, I accepted without hesitation. The interview had been strange. The manager barely asked any questions. The pay was surprisingly good, and before I left, they handed me a laminated sheet filled with rules. Pages and pages of rules. Most of them sounded insane. Arrive before 10 p.m. Never enter certain rooms. Avoid specific aisles at certain times. Don't interact with particular objects after dark. The entire thing felt like someone had mixed workplace policies with a horror movie script. Naturally, I ignored it. I arrived 10 minutes before my shift. The supermarket was almost completely empty. No customers. No employees. Just one man standing near the entrance. The security guard. His name was Joel. The moment I saw him, something felt off. Not dangerous. Just strange. He carried himself like someone who had stopped caring about everything years ago. When I mentioned the rule sheet, he didn't laugh. He didn't roll his eyes. Instead, he told me to read it carefully. Then he gave me a warning. Don't go near the dairy room tonight. That's all he said. No explanation. No reason. Just a warning. And somehow that made it even creepier. As the night dragged on, boredom began replacing my discomfort. The store was silent. Unnaturally silent. The kind of silence that makes you constantly glance over your shoulder. Eventually, I wandered back to Joel. We talked. Or at least, I tried to. The conversation somehow returned to the rule sheet. I laughed it off again. Joel didn't. Instead, he asked me to follow him. We walked through the empty supermarket until we reached aisle 6. Then things got weird. Very weird. He handed me a teddy bear. Then he grabbed a bag of salt. Without saying a word, he poured the salt onto the floor, around me, creating a perfect circle. My confusion quickly turned into irritation, then concern, then fear, because Joel looked completely serious. Whatever happens, he said, stay inside the circle. Before I could demand an explanation, Joel did something even stranger. He forced a knife into my hand, then used it to stab the teddy bear. A loud crack echoed above us. The ceiling split open. At least, that's what I thought happened. At first, it looked like a crack. Then it widened, and widened, and widened, until I realized I wasn't looking at damaged drywall. I was looking at something alive. Black liquid poured from the opening. The smell was unbearable. Rotting meat, sewage, chemicals, death. And then I heard it. A sound, a groan, something massive moving beyond the ceiling. I looked up and immediately wished I hadn't. There was an eye, a gigantic eye staring directly at me. Nothing could have prepared me for what happened next. The eye blinked. Its colors shifted constantly. Red, blue, green, yellow. As though reality itself couldn't decide what it was looking at. Then it screamed. The sound felt physical, like being punched in the head. My ears rang. My vision blurred. And suddenly the eye disappeared. In its place was a massive black hand. Each finger revealed something impossible. Eyes, tongues, twisted flesh. Things I still struggle to describe. Things I don't want to remember. The hand unfolded slowly. And when its palm opened, there was a mouth. A gigantic mouth, filled with rows of broken teeth. The creature lunged toward me. I thought I was dead. I truly thought my life had ended. But the monster stopped, just inches away, unable to cross the salt, drooling, watching, waiting. That's when I realized something. Joel had known exactly what was going to happen. The rules weren't a joke. They were real. Every single one of them. Section 7, Resolution. As I stood frozen in terror, Joel sat nearby reading a book. A book. While an eldritch nightmare tried to eat me. When I begged him for help, he barely looked up. Then he shouted something completely ridiculous. OHMYGOD, Ice that BEYONCE. The creature immediately panicked. Its body twisted violently. Its countless eyes burst. And within seconds, it fled back into the darkness. Gone. Just like that. When I finally demanded an explanation, Joel casually told me he'd discovered the creature had once been obsessed with a famous singer. Apparently, shouting her name scared it away. To this day, I don't know if he was joking. The worst part? I don't think he was. Eventually, the creature disappeared. The aisle returned to normal, and Joel simply shrugged, as though surviving a supernatural attack was just another Tuesday. Then he told me something that chilled me even more than the monster. Your shift starts tomorrow. Tomorrow. Meaning tonight wasn't even my first shift. It was orientation. So let me ask you this. If you were offered a job with excellent pay, but the employee handbook contained dozens of bizarre rules that might literally keep you alive, would you stay? Or would you quit before your first real shift? And more importantly, would you have ignored the rules like I did? Let me know in the comments.